What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, all right, we're coming, well, I mean, technically it's Metallica, but it's also just a bass solo, so I'm not trying to go with this, but it says Metallica, so we'll go with that. We're coming back to Metallica, yes indeed. Metallica fans, feeling you. Come on now. Here we go. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all the clicks and the likes and the bibbity-bobbity bop, do me a favor before you do all that stuff. Please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Comrade Chip. And Comrade Chip wanted to see me react to this. It is Metallica. Well, sort of. It's a Metallica concert. But we have a bass solo. Not from Cliff Burton. No. We have a bass solo here from Jason Newsted. Now, have I seen or heard this before? I don't think so. I don't know. I very seriously doubt it. I mean, I've seen some bass solos in the past. But I don't, from Cliff, but I don't think I've ever seen a Jason Newsted bass solo. I think this might be a first. So we're going to check this out and we're going to see how this sounds and how it looks. Now, there is a possibility, I mean, it is Metallica. There is a possibility that I might have seen or heard this in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start watching this and listening to it and I suddenly go, oh, you have gotta be kidding me. I have heard this before. I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Let's see, this was posted by Lavorin. Yeah, we'll go with that. Lavorin, why not? And the video has 276,000 views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. A link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Jason Newsted, bass solo plus Orion. Oh, Orion. We're going to get Orion out of this too. Honestly, one of my favorite songs off of Master of Puppets. I love that song. I absolutely do. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Oh, he's going to sit down? Really? That's, My Friend in Misery. One of the few songs on the Black Album I actually like. Little. We're gonna strum it now, okay. Now he stands up. Interesting take on My Friend Misery. That's interesting. A lot of just a lot of taking it in a little bit of a different direction as far as his playing goes. Not so much from a notation standpoint, but more from an approach standpoint. I liked it. I like that. My Friend Misery is one of the few songs, and I mean very few. There's only like 3 or 4 songs on the entire Black Album that I actually enjoy, and they're all in the second half of the album, oddly enough. It's funny how that worked out. But the minute you started playing them, I'm like, I recognize that. I absolutely recognize that song. The sitting down thing. I mean, he's not the first soloist I've ever seen sit down while he's playing. I'm not personally a big fan of that, but I get it. I suppose I get it. Not really, but whatever. It is what it is. Let's see what else he's gonna do here. Oh, crowd interaction. Okay. Ha ha ha. Okay. Taking a little time to interact with the crowd. I got no problem with that. While he was playing, let's be honest, what he was playing, really not that difficult as far as notation goes. I mean, a lot of it was just based around open E, with his picking. But it sounded good. It did sound good. And I think the purpose of that section was really more to interact with the crowd anyway. So I get it. Showmanship, crowd interaction, live show, have fun with it. Absolutely. I get it. Let's see what comes next. I wonder if he's going to do, I have mixed feelings. I don't know if he's going to do anything Cliff related. Like, I don't know if he's going to do like a little bit of Anesthesia. I'm going to be honest with you. I hope he doesn't. I really hope he doesn't. Because I know Jason really kind of struggled to have his own identity because everybody kept comparing him to Cliff. The guys in the Metallica were the worst. They were the absolute worst to him. They never healed. They never healed from the loss of Cliff Burton. And Jason really kind of walked into his dream job. At the same time, it's his dream job in an absolute nightmare scenario. He had to come in and fill Cliff Burton's shoes and take the spot of Cliff Burton while Metallica never got over the loss of Cliff Burton. And from what I've seen in interviews, both from the past and recently, they absolutely treated Jason like crap. They really did. And I feel for him, man. I absolutely do, because I've been in that situation where I've come in and taken over for the bass player who either left or was kicked out or whatever the reason happened. And the band had not gotten over it. The band had not gotten over the loss of their bass player. And it's a rough position to be in, man. It is. It wears on you when you keep hearing the comparison. Oh, that's not how so-and-so would play it. That's not how so-and-so played it. You're right. It's not. He's gone. I'm here now. Anyway, I felt so bad for him after hearing all those interviews, man. I did. I absolutely did. So I kind of hope he stays away from the Cliff Burton stuff. No wah pedal, no distortion. Just do your own thing. Create your own path. Make a name for yourself. Don't rely on Cliff stuff. I get it if he does, though. Oh no, I just got done. Okay, well, it's... Those devil tritones with the flat 5. Root, flat 5 octave, flat 5 root. Yeah. Ah. Now we're just getting the breakdown section. It's a little different. Oh! I wonder if they're going to go down to the E. I just think it's funny. I just got done, right before I pushed play, I just got done saying, I really hope he stays away from the wah and distortion. I push play, and the first thing he does, kicks on the wah, kicks on the distortion. I was like, oh no!
That's a damn shame.
Here's the thing though, he didn't do anything from Anesthesia, which I was really happy to hear. Most of what he played, well, other than the Orion part, everything that he played was all him. Yeah, I never heard anything like that from Cliff. Number one, a much lighter distortion than Cliff would ever use, which I like. I think it sounds more like a bass. It sounded really good. and the wah had a nice threshold on it. Focusing more on attack, focusing more on just keeping it a little more on the simple side, letting the effects kind of do the work for him, which is fine. I thought that was really smart. Not trying to sound like Cliff at all. I applaud that. I absolutely applaud that. Because they paid tribute to Cliff by doing Orion, which I thought was appropriate. I thought that was smart. I wonder though, because with Kirk and with Kirk and James coming in to play with him, I wonder how Jason felt about that. You know, it's his bass solo. Whose call was that? Knowing the iron fist that James and Lars rule the band with, especially at this point in time, I'll bet you that was James's call, number one. Number two, doing the section of Orion that they did. That's my favorite section of Orion, is that breakdown section. I was really glad that Jason took a lot of liberties. He didn't play it exactly like Cliff did. He took a lot of liberties. I wonder how James felt about that. Did James just ream him afterwards? You know, because I know during the recording process of the Black Album, man, it was brutal. James and Lars basically stood over Jason every step of the way and went, that's not what we wrote for you to play. You know, so I wonder how much liberty Jason was given, how much freedom Jason was given for that section of Orion. Was James cool with it? Did James get pissed about it? What about Lars? He's just as bad as James at this point. You know, ruling Metallica the way that he saw fit. He and James both. I don't know. But me personally, I'm glad Jason took those liberties. I'm glad he did. He made it his own. And that sounded good. What he played sounded great. I loved it. I loved everything he played so far. We still got about a minute and 20 to go. Let's see what else is left. Kind of a Gene Simmons approach with the green light. Swear to God, if he starts spitting blood, I'm going to lose my mind. The octave split. Oh man, he's banging his head on it. Ouch. The one time I banged my head on my bass was an accident and it split my head open. At about a 2-inch gash. Bleeding all over the place. It was great. Go right into the next song. Great. I have mixed feelings. I mean, for the most part, it's good. It's good. Everything that Jason did was fine. I'm glad that Jason took all the approaches he took. I'm glad Jason played all the things he played. More importantly, I'm glad Jason didn't play all the things that he didn't play. But I do have questions. I already talked about them, so I don't need to go into too much deal. I'll bullet point them, obviously. So let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review, and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was, I mean, it is Metallica, but let's be honest here. This was really more about Jason than it was about Metallica. So we're just going to say it was Jason Newsted with a bass solo. It looked like it was, I don't think that was during the Injustice tour. That was, I'll bet you that was during the Black Album tour. I'll bet you that was during that period of time in the early 90s where they were supporting that album. I think they were on the road for how long was it? Like 2.5 years non-stop. Man, talk about the ultimate road dogs, man. Whew, that's a long time to be on the road. Most bands could not handle that, I can guarantee you. But they did it. Good for them. There's a lot that I talked about during the course of the reaction, and I'm gonna hit some bullet points, but I really don't want to go back into detail on those things again. I already said what I needed to say, so I'm gonna do my best to kind of stay on track here, hit some bullet points, and call it a day, because we've already been here for about 20 minutes or so. So let's get to the score. Let me hit those bullet points, and we'll call it a day. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna give that an 8.2. Yep, 8.2. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, first things first, an 8.2. What does that mean? Well, an 8.2 would translate to a great scale rating, so overall, I think this was a great presentation. It would also get 4 to 5 stars and an A- letter grade. So there you go, an 8.2, great scale rating, 4 to 5 stars, and an A- letter grade. Now, how did I come up with that score? So glad you asked. Okay, is it the most impressive bass solo I've ever heard? No, not even close. I have heard bass solos that absolutely blow what Jason played out of the water. Okay, let's call a spade here. Now, having said that, it is Metallica. Okay, now this and I talked at length about this already. Jason really was kind of in a no-win situation here. I mean, yeah, he landed his dream job. It was an absolute nightmare scenario, filling Cliff's shoes. Number one, that's impossible. But everybody in the Metallica kind of expected it. And I'm like, how can you expect that? There's only one Cliff. Even I was like, when Jason came along, this is about the time I got into Metallica, and I went back and I listened to, so I started getting into Metallica with And Justice for All. I went backwards, listened to all the Cliff stuff, and I absolutely loved it. And then I saw the quandary of, well, this is their new bass player. This is Jason. You know what? I know what happened to Cliff. Cliff passed away in an absolute tragic bus accident. I get that. And Jason had to come in and take over and try his best to be the new bass player. He did not try to fill Cliff's shoes. That's impossible. But that's kind of what James and Lars expected, and that was absolutely not fair. Anyway, what Jason played sounded good. It was very much his style. If Jason had come up and played Anesthesia, I'm not gonna lie, folks, if that had been the case, I would have been pissed. I would have been upset. I would not have enjoyed that. Because here we go again. Are you gonna make a name for yourself, or are you gonna walk forever in the shadow of he who came before you? That's not a way to make a name for yourself. Go in there, make a name for yourself, play what you want to play with your style, play with your ability, play with your feel, your taste. And that's exactly what he did, which kind of blows me away considering where Metallica was at this point. They had not grieved. I mean, I know at the time they said they were over it. No, they weren't, because we saw that happen later in that documentary. For what was the name of the documentary? Some Kind of Monster. They had to go to therapy, and they were finally able to admit, we never got over the loss of Cliff. We never grieved. They never allowed themselves to grieve. And as a result, they kind of held Jason to that standard, and that was not fair. So and I'm surprised, I'm a little surprised that Lars and James didn't tell Jason to go out there and play Anesthesia. I'm a little shocked that didn't happen. The whole thing with Orion, I thought that was appropriate. Playing tribute to Cliff, yes, absolutely, pay tribute to him, but don't play what he played. And which comes down to, and comes back to what I was talking about, not so much what Jason played, what Jason didn't play. He did not play Cliff's parts exactly as they were on the album. I'm thrilled about that. I'm glad he didn't. Jason put his own style, his own feel on it. He took some liberties with the notation. I personally was thrilled to see that, and everything Jason played sounded good within the context of Orion. It didn't take away from the song. In a way, it added to it. And I thought that was really nicely done. Again, I'm shocked that James and Lars allowed it. Because, again, they were ruling Metallica with an iron fist. And if they didn't say it was okay, then it didn't happen. So they must have been okay with it. Unless, for the purpose of the show, Jason went rogue. And then I guarantee you, he got earful backstage after the show. I don't know. I don't know what happened there. I would have to see multiple shows from this tour to see if that was the case. Did he take those liberties every single time, or was this a one-time deal? If it was a one-time deal, there's a possibility there may have been some words backstage. I liked what Jason did. He kept his bass solo on the simpler side, which allowed him some freedoms to do things that most bass players don't do during their solos. Most bass players are so focused on playing as impressive as they possibly can that they lose sight of the entertainment value from a showmanship standpoint and a visual standpoint. Jason got that. He kept his solo a little more on the simpler side, so he could do things like showmanship and, surprisingly, crowd interaction. I thought that was really cool. It was nice to see. I wonder if he took some cues from Gene Simmons on that, especially with that last part with the green light and him mouthing with his mouth what he was playing. You know, that same inflection. I thought that was very cool. I do kind of wonder if he got that from Gene. I didn't see any blood. I didn't see any fire, but it was still very much of that Gene Simmons style. Let's just play one note, and let's just play that one note and use the wah and use the effects and use everything else and, you know, get into it. I thought that was very cool. Again, showmanship. I thought it was funny, the usage of the wah and distortion. I liked Jason's approach. He didn't take a Cliff Burton approach. A lighter distortion tone, much lighter, much better EQ'd toward bass. And with an envelope filter, with an envelope on that wah pedal that was really wide, along with the octave split. I thought that was a really nice touch. It was Jason. It was not Cliff. I like that. I absolutely dug that. Taking what he played, more importantly what he didn't play, taking how he played it, and the fact that he was able to go into some showmanship and crowd interaction, stage energy with it, I feel very good about giving that an 8.2. Not the most mind-blowing bass solo I've ever heard in my life. Trust me, I've heard others that, from a complexity standpoint and an impressiveness standpoint, blew what Jason did out of the water. But within the context of a live show, taking everything into account for a live show, what he played, I thought, and what he did, and most importantly, what he didn't do and what he didn't play, I was fairly impressed. So yeah, 8.2, I feel good with that score, and that's where we're going to stay. So let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow, shall we? We have an 8.2, which is a great scale rating, 4 to 5 stars, and an A- letter grade. Take your pick, I don't care, whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hope I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, then I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then by all means feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.